All right, and welcome to the first edition of Tiger Talk ANO. Hopefully, this will have been worth the wait. My name is Andy, and I thought I'd be doing this solo. However, I do have a new co presenter for you, but more of that in a minute. First, I would like to introduce a couple of colleagues of mine. They're reporters for Hull City, and we'll talk to them very shortly. So, what's in store for this week? We'll discuss the 25-26 fixture list, which was released recently. And obviously, we'll talk about the new manager, Sergei Yakirovich. Hope I pronounced that correctly. And a lot more to look forward to. Okay, so let's kick off with having a look at our two new city reporters, Tony and Tanya. And they'll be with us throughout the season, giving news and views and also transfers in and or out. Let's start with our chief reporter, Tony Tolstory.
Hi, Andy. Good to speak to you. Plenty of stories bubbling under the surface already. One thing I can confirm is our first home game versus Oxford United will have to be rescheduled due to clashing with a Hull FC fixture the same day. It is likely to be now on the Friday evening before, on the 15th of August. Before that, though, on the glorious 12th August, we travel to the racecourse ground in the first round of the Carabao Cup, where we take on Championship new boys Wrexham. Tough one. I'll be back next week with Tall Story Time, and believe me, it's a big one. Bye for now.
Thanks, Tony, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more of you during the season. Now let's meet Tanya Telltale. She's a new addition to the team and has a wealth of knowledge she will share with us each week. Hello, Tanya.
Hi, Andy. Great to be with you this season. Hope we have a good one. Hi, everyone. I'll be covering match days once the season kicks off, so keep your eyes peeled and your ears open. I am looking forward to our first fixture on the 9th of August in front of the Sky cameras away at Coventry City. See you then.
So, thank you very much, Tanya. We've now reached the stage of the project where the mystery presenter will be revealed. His name is Oscar, as I'm sure you're well aware, and about 3 weeks ago I found him loitering around the MKM studio and he talked his way in for a visit and had a good look around. We met and I was quite impressed with the young man, to be fair, and I'd like to introduce you to him now. We've invited him for the season and I'm sure he will be a fan's favourite. He's not as good looking as Sophie, Matt's sister. However, I'm sure he will contribute with some very good insights. So, welcome, Oscar.
Thank you, Andy. I'm so excited to be here and I can't wait to tell my dad what I've been up to today.
Thank you, Oscar. I'm sure you'll settle in very well. More from you shortly. Now, another addition to the team is retired referee John Fastwhistle. He'll most weeks to dissect any controversial incidents, which I'm sure there'll be many.
Hi Andy, thank you for your invite to join the team. I look forward to the season, which should be full of talking points, I'm sure. I do have one new law for you which needs to be explained.
Thanks, John. Yes, of course, the goalkeeper time-wasting edition. Please explain.
Okay, simple really. It was proposed by that great referee Pierluigi Collina by FIFA earlier. It's an addition to the laws whereby if a goalkeeper once has control of the ball, he has 8 seconds to release the ball into the field of play. If he holds on for more than 8 seconds, then the referee will award a corner kick to the opposition. Correct enforcement should result in less time wasting, particularly towards the end of the game.
Thank you, John, for clearing that up. It's okay introducing new laws like this, but enforcement is the key. Coaches will have looked at this and I'm sure we will see fake goalkeeper injuries or anything else that they can get away with. They may increase. We'll see. Let's pop over to the Tiger Cub studio and see what Oscar has to say on the matter.
Well, I hope it is better than the last 6-second rule, which was a joke. I'll be watching carefully and I shall be speaking to our referee, John, for clarification, I'm sure.
Well, we'll be keeping a close eye. In week 1, we'll be tracking how many times the 8-second rule is actually applied. and whether it's genuinely speeding up the game or just being quietly ignored. Full breakdown coming next week, right here on Tiger Talk. Okay, now to the main man. We welcome Sergei Yakunovich to Hull City following his press conference yesterday. I thought, actually, he came across very well. Good English and has a lot of knowledge and has played at a high level. Did Tim Walter? Don't know. He's 48 years old and has played at the highest level as a defender. He's also had a modicum of success as a manager, winning the Bosnian Premier League and was manager of the season in that Premier Division. His last job before Turkey came at Dinamo Zagreb in the Champions League, but was comprehensively trounced 9-2 by Bayern Munich in the final game. You can see he's had some success in management, and his win rate from around 290 games, just over 59%, which in my book is good in any particular league. So we welcome you to Hull City, Sergei, and wish you every success, and I'm sure the supporters will get behind you. Okay, now some news on the transfer front.
Hi Andy, here I am with Transfers with Tall Story. We'll start with the signings. Semi Ajayi from West Brom, central defender and a recent Nigerian international. Good squad player with a lot of experience, especially in the Championship. Dylan Phillips, a number 2 keeper to Panda, again with a lot of experience, moving from Rotherham. Third signing inbound is the young midfielder Reda Lalaouli from Moroccan side Farth Union Sport for an undisclosed fee on a 4-year deal. The 20-year-old Morocco under-20 international. Transfer rumours include Louis Barry from Aston Villa under £4 million as Aston Villa need the money to balance the books. Ollie McBurney from Las Palmas ex-Swansea and Sheffield United. Bustling old-fashioned striker, not a lot of pace but strong and a willing worker. Does have Championship experience. Lewis O'Brien, ex-Huddersfield and presently with Nottingham Forest, was on loan at Swansea end of last season. City looking for a loan or a permanent deal. Bye for now. Hi Andy, here we are awaiting news on the imminent signing Sergei has sanctioned.
Yes, Andy, this is quite exciting. Louis Barry is the first one expected, as I believe Aston Villa are hoping to balance their books.
Also, what about the addition to the staff? Plus, any updates do you have on Ollie McBurney?
Yes, I can tell you that the experience of Dean Holden has arrived. I think it is a good appointment as he is obviously English and has a depth of knowledge of the English game. He is well respected, and if things don't go too well for Sergei, then Dean would be on hand to steady the ship. Recently, he was the number 2 for Stevie Gerrard in Saudi. He was recently with Bristol City and Stoke City in the Championship. I'll be hoping to get an interview with him soon.
Yes, and as far as Ollie McBurney is concerned, there is still a lot of work to be done talking to his agent. We will continue to keep close to the management and bring you news as soon as we have it. Back to you, Andy. Speak again soon.
Thanks, Tanya and Tony. Back with them if any news is forthcoming. And you'll hear it first on Tiger Talk. Oscar, what do you think?
Well, I'm excited about Louis Barry and it should be all sorted soon. Well, I'm excited. So, let's keep our fingers crossed and see him go mad against his old club Stockport soon. So, the second preseason match is at home to Sunderland on Tuesday, July 29th at 19:45. They will bring a few thousand down and will want to show they are a Premier League team. This will be a good test and we will burst their bubble, I'm sure. Score prediction later in the month.
Thanks for that, Oscar. I like your optimism on Sunderland. News is filtering in now as we speak on a potential signing. Tony?
Okay, glad you can join me. I've just heard we have tabled a bid of £5 million for the Nottingham midfielder, Lewis O'Brien. A speculative move which I fear has still some way to go. Also, we are in talks with the ex-Liverpool and Newcastle midfielder, Jonjo Shelvey. That one is still very early days. Back to you, Andy.
Interesting news. Tabled a bid for $5 million. Not sure they'll accept that, Nottingham Forest. Shelvey's a surprise, and I'm not so sure about that particular one. What about you, Oscar?
Like the sound of O'Brien. Busy midfielder who can do just about anything. Thumbs up for me. Disapproving. Don't like this move. A journeyman who hasn't found his destination yet. Would cost us a lot of money to sit on the treatment table. No way, Jose, please.
Well, there's no way that Shelvey will be putting a Hull City shirt on if Oscar's got anything to do with it. Okay, now news of a possible departure from Tanya.
Yes, it concerns Steve Alzotte, our Colombian midfielder. Ruben Selles has been knocking on the back door and would like to take him to his new club, Sheffield United. Selles was always a great admirer of Steve and we could make some money as he was a free from Brighton. Any more I'll get back to you.
Right, let's talk fixtures. The new fixture list for 25-26 came out last Thursday, and it saw us pitched up against Coventry City in the first fixture away, a 12:30 kickoff on the 9th of August. It's also on Sky TV, so in front of the Sky cameras again. We then go to Wrexham for the Carabao Cup, and Oxford United is our first home fixture, which, as you've been informed, will be brought forward possibly to the Friday evening as it clashes with Hull FC Rugby League on the same day. Next home match is at home to Blackburn on the 23rd of August, and Bristol City away on the 30th, my birthday. And those first four fixtures, league fixtures, are then followed by the dreaded international break. However, I don't think it is a bad start to the season for us. We've avoided the Premier League teams that were relegated last season. So I would say we could win at least two of those and hopefully kick off our season brightly.
I am quite excited as the new season approaches. With Coventry City finishing 5th last season and were beaten in the semi-final of the play-offs by a last-minute header from Sunderland. They're managed by Frank Lampard, who took them to the final stages following a poor start. Oxford United at home winnable, as is Blackburn at home. Bristol City away is always difficult, but a new manager and a disappointing play-off showing could be a leveler for us. Predictions coming up with Andy very soon.
Thanks, Oscar. Okay, now it's time for Championship predictions. Week 1. Each week, Oscar and I will give our scores as we see them. Please share in the comments below your thoughts on what we come up with. This is all in a bit of fun. No malice intended. The scores actually would be, if you get an exact score, you get 3 points. A correct result will be 1 point, and obviously if you get it wrong, it will be 0 point. Okay, let's kick off the season with the first fixture, which is on the Friday evening, Birmingham City against relegated Ipswich Town. I think this will be a draw, 1-1, as Birmingham are on a lot of momentum and will give Ipswich, who I think will be the better team, a tough game. 1-1 is my verdict.
I'm going for a confident 2-0 for Birmingham City. They will have the momentum of promotion as Ipswich did when they came into the championship. Yeah, winning start for Birmingham City and me. 2-0.
Okay, now we come to the first of the Saturday games, Charlton versus Watford. New Boys Charlton, I think, would find it very difficult in the Championship this season. And in this particular game, I think Watford will be far too strong. And I predict a comfortable 3-1 victory for Watford.
Again, I've gone for an away win, but a more resounding scoreline 4-1. Watford will be too strong and Charlton will struggle this season.
Thanks, Oscar. At least we agree on something. Now we come to the Sky TV game of the day, and Coventry City versus Hull City. Met a few times and fairly close encounters each time. Coventry with a lot of momentum from last season, just missing out on the playoff against Sunderland. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, as I think Hull City will be quite a test first game for them this season.
This is a tough one. Like all first games, no one wants to lose. I think we can get a point here to give us confidence. Score 1-1.
Okay, now the game at the Riverside, Middlesbrough against Swansea City. Quite a trip for the Swansea fans, and I think they'll be not too happy with the result that I predicted. I've gone for Middlesbrough 2, Swansea City 1.
I'm helping Oscar. I think this one will be a Swansea victory 1-0.
Don't be daft, Tanya. Opening fixture at Middlesbrough. Swansea don't have a prayer and I go 3-1 to the Borough.
Now we're off to Carrow Road, which sees Norwich City entertain Millwall. And I think this will be quite comfortable for Norwich, who last season proved quite good at home. And I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to Norwich.
Quick, before Tanya gets back, what does she know anyway? Norwich will just pip this one 2-1.
Next up is Oxford United versus Portsmouth. Two of the guys that just survived last season. Well, Oxford did finish strongly, and as did Portsmouth, I have to say. I think first game of the season, Portsmouth will stamp their authority and come away easy victors by 3-1.
Looking at my notes here, two teams just surviving last season. Oxford finished strong, but Portsmouth are now getting to grips with what's required in the championship. Scores even with a Desmond. Sophie told me that one.
Nice easy start for Queen's Park Rangers, who notoriously finish well. However, I think they don't start very well. But on this occasion, I think there'll be a comfortable victory for them. And I'm going for a 3-0 scoreline. QPR 3, Preston 0.
This looks like the most boring opener at Loftus Road. They both might scramble a goal, so a dismal 1-1.
Okay, this is a repeat of the semi-final of the playoffs last season. Sheffield United versus Bristol City. And I think the same team will win through on this one. I'm going for a Sheffield United win, 2-0. I think Bristol will probably struggle this season, losing their manager and having a disappointing playoffs from their standards. It'll take a bit of time for them to recover, I think. 2-0 to Sheffield.
Bristol will be in free fall this season. Going to Sheffield, it won't be easy, and I predict a hammering by the Blades 4-0.
Okay, for all Wrexham's momentum over the past few seasons with promotions back-to-back, I think they'll struggle this year, regardless of the money, etc., that will be available to them. Southampton's down from the Premiership after a very poor season. I think will be comfortable winners here by 3-1. Welcome to the Championship, Wrexham.
I think as this is Wrexham's return to the Championship, Southampton won't know what's hit them. A full house here will see a Welsh victory 1-0.
Well, that was a shock. That's the first shock of the season as far as we're concerned. All the Wrexham fans, I'm sure, will be joining the Oscar fan club. Now we come to Stoke City versus Derby County, which was actually the last fixture in the Championship for these two last season. That was a dour affair. I'm sure this will be too. I'm going, though, for a Stoke victory by 2-1.
Oddly, this was the last fixture for these two last season. Not much between them then, so I go for a draw 1-1.
Okay, now we come to the penultimate fixture, West Bromwich Albion versus Blackburn Rovers. Blackburn had a strange season, finished a little better at the end. West Brom were a bit disappointing, I think, as far as their fans were concerned, I'm sure. But I think this will be a comfortable 3-0 victory for West Brom.
This will be a hard-fought encounter. Both teams were close to the playoffs last season. I tip West Brom to nick it 2-1.
Oh dear, another pressure cooker for Sheffield Wednesday to deal with. What a difficult fixture for them to come up with for the first one, away to Leicester City, who will be wanting to react to their relegation and I'm sure want to get straight back to the Premiership if they can. I'm going for an easy victory for Leicester City here of 5-0, which will just pile more pressure, unwanted pressure, onto the Sheffield club.
This may be a disaster season for Wednesday. This will be a high-scoring win for Leicester. I'm going for a 4-0 home win as you predicted 5.
Thanks to Oscar, some very interesting scorelines there. We'll have to see when the games are being played who gets the best score. As always, please share your thoughts in the comments if there's anything you disagree with. I hope we haven't upset any fans from any club. If you haven't subscribed yet, then please do. This has been the first Tiger Talk A&O production for the season. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed bringing it to you, and we'll finish off here with a photograph of the Tiger Talk squad and all the presenters that have spoken to you today. And at the end, I will give you a message in Bosnian, and we'll hope to see you again soon. Please take care. Up the Tigers. Don't forget the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bravo, Andy. Lajkuj i pretplati se, vidimo se sljedeće sedmice. Which translates like and subscribe and see you next week.